Hi, good morning everybody. This is Dane. Welcome back to my channel, Philippine Nurse Retires Home. Um, Before I get too far, I'm thanking everybody for everything you do for me, all your patience, okay? And I'm still encouraging everyone to subscribe and to comment if you can, please, because commenting will give me an idea where I'm at, and it would also help the other people. So it's not only me, okay? So please share, subscribe if you think my channel is worth watching, and make comments. Now, today's topic is again about Filipino family dynamics, okay? But I'm gonna talk about the law, the legal aspect of some stuff, okay? Now, this topic is actually inspired by one of the subscribers here, about prenuptial agreement before they get married in the Philippines, which I'm agreeable to that because of some reasons. I'll tell you that later. Now, I research on this matter because I'm motivated, but I have to be very careful because any other topic, I am not a lawyer. I base it on my research. I base it on what I read, okay? All right. Now, I'm just going to summarize everything what I have learned, okay? But anything else beyond that, any kind of legal questions, please direct it to a lawyer in the Philippines who knows better than I am, or read some books, okay? Now, the Philippine law actually has set up rules and laws to protect your rights of your ownership or your properties before you get married, okay? In the Filipino culture, prenup is not very common yet, because when you enter into marriage, sometimes the Filipinos do not even think about divorce or anything like separation. They're there to stay for life. But now we have annulment now. So, and then people has gotten richer and richer, I guess, and they have to protect their rights and ownership from their previous life, okay, before marriage. Now, so, but you have to know that there is also some Filipino, the rules and regulations about this, okay? I'll talk to you about that shortly. The reason why people um, has prenuptial agreement is because number one, if you have properties in the other country, supposing a foreigner, a lot of these girls, the young girls would go after the older. That's the reality in life in the Philippines. That's a fad right now. They would go after the older ones that has a lot of money. Some has no money, but they got pension. Okay, they thought that all foreigners are rich, but they are not correct. Okay, but anyway, this girl sometimes would marry people for their money, of course, and all those probably pension that they can get from another country. All right, so I have heard horror stories later on that I'm going to probably talk in another video what I've heard about girls that are doing some stupid stuff like that, okay, abuses to patronize an old lover, an old like old partner. All right, so if the partner owns properties out somewhere in their country before marriage, if they got children involved, so that they will be given what's rightful for them to have, I will go for a prenup, okay? Now, if you have a lot of insecurities about this girl that you're gonna marry because you are not very sure, then I'm gonna have a prenup, okay? And otherwise, that is just really for you to protect your investment. All right. Now, but we have the law in the Philippines has set the prenup into three regimes, REGIME, or three kinds. All right, the first one that I have here is system of absolute community. That's one of the prenups, meaning to say what is yours is what is mine, meaning to say everything that you had before the marriage and everything that you have brought into the marriage, meaning to say what you have had, and all those stuff that you have gained or brought after the marriage will all be owned by the husband and the wife. It's gonna be a conjugal property. So there's no sense for that then, okay? Because that's really not a prenup for me, okay? Because there's not any kind of limitation there. Number two is, which I really like very much, the conjugal partnership of gains, okay, meaning to say in which the properties that are acquired by the spouse, husband and wife before their marriage will be exclusively his and hers. But whatever is the gain of that property that you have, all the gains and the profits that happened during the marriage, okay, that's after the marriage, meaning it will be separate, I'm sorry, it will be owned by both. It's conjugal, so it's after the fact already. But whatever you had before is exclusively yours, okay? Now, but during the separation, all those gains that you had, supposing you had already house built up after because of the profit that you had from your properties before marriage, that house will be sold. It will be, whatever gain you have there will be separated. So that's what it means, okay? During the separation, by the way, whatever properties you had before, you can sell it without the consent of the wife, okay? So that's the second one. The other one is complete separation of property, meaning to say all the asset will remain separate throughout the marriage, and in the event of separation, everything will be separated. So all the proceeds and everything, gains and whatever during the marriage and after the marriage will all be separated, okay? And the prenup, by the way, has to be executed before the marriage, and if it's done after the marriage, it's gonna be invalid. All right, invalid, okay? Invalid, not invalid but invalid. So anything like changes on such kind of agreement, it has to be done by making a petition in the court. So another legal matter there, okay? It has to be done really in the court. So it's gonna be another money for you guys, okay? So I think I would go for the second one, especially if I have a lot of properties. And yeah, the second one, I like that very much, okay? Me personally and my husband, we did not have any such thing as prenup because we did not have too much of anything when we got married. He did not really, I don't think he has a lot of inheritance, nor me, okay? We both live in different houses, and we have our own jobs, and we have our own 401ks, and we have our own other investment on our own. So we pretty much kind of set together, and I'm not dependent in him financially, and he's not vice versa. There is this prenup is a good thing to have, but there's also exception to the rule, okay? You have to kind of play by ear, because if you marry somebody, supposing you're marrying somebody like a a doctor from the Philippines, and she already has a good business going and so on and so forth, or somebody like a business person who has already a lot of money invested in the Philippines, and you want her, petition her to your country and marry her there, or marry her in the Philippines, I would think the prenup is not gonna be a good thing, because that girl, you have to think that she has to go to your country and she has to drop all what she has in the Philippines. Like for example, a career going, although she does not really have a lot of money yet, but it is going, it's booming. And then you're gonna tell her to go to whatever place you are at, and then marry her and drop everything and stop everything, and she cannot practice as a business person or a doctor immediately in your country, and you're gonna have to have this prenup. I don't think the lady will allow that, okay? Because it happens in my family, which I am glad, because really, that's really a a risky thing to even suggest, because you can lose her. Anyway, prenup is good if you will lose a lot of stuff, you know, before marriage. But this is just something that I would like to talk about, because I think it's very interesting, and I think a lot of people now is really considering that. All right, guys, and have a good day. Bye.